I knew that the power of AI is going to be a tool of liberation for everyone who can see it as a tool, not as something that's going to take over your job, because that I don't think is going to happen, because you still need that human part of design in the process. So what I felt in the end with AI was the ability to curate your design. You're not only a designer now, you're the curator of your ideas. So you create an idea, and I still sketch by hand, and I use AI to create plethora of variations within minutes, unheard of for 7. I was like up until midnight learning of how to use ImageLab, and the power of the output of what you guys have created is amazing.
Hi, Chris. Great to have you back again. Doing great. Well, we were to have Mr. John Sahs join us today, a former chief designer of Nissan's Latin America and he's with us. And for the warm-up 10 minutes ago, he's disappeared and hasn't returned. So maybe Philip
Okay, I mean,
that is right. We are live, so we'll see if he comes back. Let's hope he comes back. He has a link to get in. So let's hope he shows up. Maybe they ran out of power. Maybe his internet went out all of a sudden. Who knows? But anyway, we've had lots going on this last week. So we've been making lots of pictures. We've got tons of new users of ImageLab. Doing some really cool stuff. We're seeing a lot more people posting on the future's here, forget the past. Depix, dreamer, light the way, design tomorrow, shape today, cars and fashion. Yeah, we just had a fairly substantial update. We've added more native languages, so we now have 12 languages available. So if you choose the language, put it on the front, you can switch most of the UI, not all of the UI yet, but we'll switch most of it, which is nice.
This is very helpful because I'm German and I work in German on the team. Most stuff is not German, so I don't have to think about it. So just tell Korea, China, and so we have now just languages inside, and I think it's a big shift. If I think back 20 years, if somebody would offer me software in German, I would say, "Hey, thank you very much," but nobody did this because it was too much work.
Yeah, well, us English speakers from or American speakers from the U.S., we take it for granted that everyone speaks English, when in fact the majority of the world does not. So we're trying to address that with adding multiple languages to the system, and this is the beginning of it. If there's a language we're missing, just send us an email and let us know if you'd like to see a different language than we have already. And
last week, I talked to some users of our software, and I think they're now starting to use also ImageLab not just for editing images or doing some background changes. They're doing it also to make design. So create design, variants of stuff and so on. That's very interesting, So you can really talk to the system. Hey, I would like to have this. Can you do it like this? You can talk to it, and it's showing you new options directly. I can share my screen and show you a little bit what I did in this kind of way. This is really interesting to me, and this makes our tool really really good to use. What I did here, I mean, you see now my screen, yeah. I go to full screen. This car I did. I think it's a smart. It was in the beginning a smart image. I'm sorry for smart, but I just did some stuff to it. using ImageLab and boosting my creativity, So I came from here or here, I did some different rear ends, I see some different diffusers and so stuff like this. But I was coming to here and said, hey, make it more like a little bit racy, So, and he put it in the street here on the street with some wet areas. He textured my car and he started to make my diffuser with red lines, So it looks more racy. It even gave me this slash now this hashtag 3
Number three.
number
Yeah.
on the car, So it's cool, But now I have one pipe, and this is old stuff because now the future is EV. But okay, it's a good example to show variations. And if you look on the pipe now, so I said, okay, make me a double pipe, round double pipe, So and this is just doing it, So it's looking at doing it, and then you say, okay, 2 is good, but 4 is maybe better. Yeah. So I did get 4, So, and that's really, really interesting because I know how we did this long time ago in different tools. It takes a long time because you have to think, where is it? How are my ribs? And here it takes 15 seconds, to do each of them. And then I said, okay, make it a little bit more like dust and so like the car is starting. You see the dust is coming now, and he is also giving the exhausting pipes a little bit blue shine here, which is quite cool, So it looks quite cool. And then you can go crazy. I said, add a person, with a nice business dress, so like a contrast to the car. And then I said, okay, give the person the right fitting dress to the car. And they changed all of the graphics on the car and the guy, which I like really much, So
Yeah.
you can, then he did the next image here, and this was maybe too many people, yeah, but it's just people, and you have to be. I should have been a little bit more explicit, but it's cool, And then you can go in, you can go just remove some people, from the image or go back. I'm doing some stuff here, so I think I did a small movie also here. The guy is jumping in the car and driving away. And that's also very cool because in ImageLab, you have no waiting time. Yeah, you just press a button, you get the 5 or 10-second video right now. And we are thinking about to have this in the next days also to add possibilities, start or end image for an animation. Or Philip, that's right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's really a big step we will do in the next days. But right
What
now,
prompt did you use for this? Was this one of the preset buttons, or was it
just
a
talking.
prompt?
I just talked to you. So the guy walks around the car, opens the door, jumps in, and drives away. Yeah.
So you just pressed the voice button and you described what you wanted it to do.
And then you press create video, 5 seconds, boom, done, ready. And then you can also later on, if you want to, you can also add sound to it. I went
cool.
back to this pit stop here, and I like this a lot. So I move people, and then yeah, this is maybe this is from my old colleagues at Porsche. I found this is an advertisement from Porsche, and I just played around with it. So this is a real. I think I took it from somewhere, from Google or from LinkedIn, and I just changed the car. But this is not doing something again. The car company is just to show. It's very easy if you have an image and you want to replace the car with a different car. You just tell it, please replace the car with the next car, and you can also attach an image of the new car, and it's doing it, And that's also a good example. If you find a nice photo with a different car, but you want to bring your car in, you can just click the button.
Yeah, this is not, we also a button now, right? The replace the car button is in the car panel.
The car button, and it's fantastic. You can make from one image this fantastic movie, So, and I did some more fun stuff then later on with this. I put in a Porsche tractor, which is really cool, So, and this is really joy, So to have this tractor.
So how did you do that? Did you attach an image of the Porsche tractor?
No, I just told it, please change the car into a Porsche tractor in red, with a guy sitting on top with a red Porsche hat on and with a seat and so on, and taking the steering wheel in the hands. Yeah, and this is I did the same with a Lamborghini and the trailer with a Lamborghini boat on, So
cool.
the possibilities are endless. And this was just for fun yesterday evening. I did this, but I like the tractor a lot, so it's really cool. Yeah, it looks like fun, the tractors running here.
He's going a little fast for the road, maybe, though.
But everybody loves the old Porsche tractors, and there are also old Lamborghini tractors, and so it's like history,
Yeah.
but it's really cool. Yeah, you can do really cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and here I did some more work for the rear end. I changed it, So just to go from here to here, it's no work in a different tool. It's just really telling it, I want to change the diffuser and this and this and this way, and then you get your output, and that's, I think.
So what would be previously what would be the problem? Oh, there's John. He made it. Great to see you, John.
Hey, Philip.
Yeah, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Hey, Chris. Yeah,
you just said
it was just a lot of difficulties trying to navigate through all the different procedures to try to get back online and stuff. But
no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's no problem. We're so happy to have you here.
Yeah, great to see you.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
We were just showing a few things. It's really great to have you on, John, who's been 3 decades, in the automotive design industry. You've been at Mercedes Design. You've been at the design director of Nissan in Latin America. You've been involved with teaching. You've taught at Art Center. You've been someone who's been around for quite a while in this creative space of automotive design, and now you're founder of, and creative director of Imagine a Cooler Future, which is, we'd love to hear more about that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey? What brought you here? How'd you get to using AI? I know you've been an AI visionary. You've sort of early adopter of this technology, as you have for many of your technologies that we were talking before the show, that you used to use a tool called Studio Paint, I think it was, right? Which was an alias tool from back in the 90s. So you've been around this stuff for a long time. So why don't you tell us a little about your background and how you got here?
Yeah, well, I started my career 32 years ago. And it was just by chance that I had a deep question when I was around, I would say around 18, like, what am I going to do with my life, after I graduated from high school? And of course, your friends all knew where they were going. And then I knew I loved art and I knew I loved cars, but I never put it together that there was an occupation or profession called car design. In my head, car design was like an engineer type of job or role. But my counselor at the time, he asked me the question, what do you like? I said, I like art. And what else do you like? I like cars. And he said, you ever thought of becoming a car designer? And I said, what is that? Is that like an engineer? Because I don't like math. He goes, no, you're like the person who creates the form, the shapes, the colors. And then he showed me a Art Center College of Design catalog. And this was back probably 1987. I looked through it, and when I stumbled across the word transportation design, I saw these pictures of these futuristic cars, and it's like somebody hit me with a hammer. And just the words in my head was shape the future. And I knew that, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Not knowing what it would take to become a car designer, just I knew what I wanted to do. So then I applied to Art Center, College of Design, like one of the most prestigious schools to ever enter, right? Especially in the United States. And I had, you're young, you have a lot of ego. You thought, I thought I was going to get in with ease. I put all my portfolio stuff together, applied, and I think it was like 2 weeks later, I get a little mail that says, Dear Mr. John Anthony Sahs, we're starting to inform you that this profession is highly, highly competitive. We believe that you should choose another profession. Can you imagine? I think I was probably 22 at the time. And the amount of sadness just overwhelmed me. And I was like in bed looking at the ceiling, like not seeing my future anymore.
Right.
And then my mom comes in and she says, "Hey, you really want to go to the school?" I said, "Yes. I want to do this for the rest of my life." And she called the school, and the school said, "Yeah, your son can take a night course and learn about what it is to become a product designer, a car designer." So I took the night course. I sacrificed my younger years of 22 of going out with my friends and partying on the weekend. I really focused because I knew this is the only opportunity I will have to pursue this desire to become a car designer. And so 3 months in the summer, going to class 2 nights a week, driving about an hour each way from my house to Pasadena. And my God, when I entered the campus, it was a different world. Every student had that look in their eye of focus, of determination, of becoming the best. And when I felt that, I knew, my God, I'm in the right place. If I want to become a car designer, this is the right institution to get into. So I took the course, did really well, but practice. Lots of practice, 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 practice until you're bleeding from your fingers, learning all the techniques of drawing with a pen, a pencil, marker, chalk, going to all the senior students and asking, "Coach, how do you do that? How do you create that? That shape? How do you create?" So you become like a sponge. Well, I was a sponge. I would learn all the techniques I could from the upper term students. I wasn't even in school yet. I was just a night class student. But there was respect between each other, each students. Even the senior level students wants to help the younger students, want to show them the way, the tricks of the trade of how to express your ideas. So then I applied. 2 weeks later, I get this big orange envelope. "Dear Mr. John Anthony Sahs, you have been accepted to Art Center." That was my first lesson in learning to be humble, number one. Number two is to never give up, yeah. And number three, to always do your best work, right? So I enter Art Center, and it was tough. It was an easy thing. Every day you were fighting for your existence, meaning that you wanted people to see your work, to ask you questions, to interact with you. Because when you put your work on the wall, you got to be the best of the best. Because what happens is the students that walk by, if they just walk by your drawing, that means it's not good enough. They just keep on walking across the classroom. But when the student or people stop and look at your work, that means that you're really expressing your ideas and really connecting with them. So 3 years of Art Center. I did internships with Ford, with Chrysler Pacifica, with Mitsubishi when they had a studio in Cyprus there. And I just learned as much as I could and practice as much as I could so that when I graduated from Art Center, I would have enough work and the skill level that would allow me to get the interview, not the job, to get the interview. That's what's really good about Art Center is when you graduate from Art Center, it's almost the ticket to your first interview. If you really do good work, you're going to get an interview, at least one. In my case, I had 2 or 3 lined up after I graduated. And there was one project in which I had done as a thesis, my senior thesis. And at the time, it was 1992. And I thought one day, wouldn't it be cool if you had a product company and a car company joining forces to create a new vehicle? And at the time, Swatch Watch was so popular.
Yeah.
It had strong brand identity. I mean, they were really cool, right? So I said, I'm going to design a small delivery truck for Swatch Watch using EV, right? Battery. So I took all the things I learned when I was at Ford about battery because I designed a battery unit for one of the show cars, and it was my understanding of how batteries work. So I used that knowledge, put into the design, and I designed this delivery truck called Nose Wheelie. And the thesis was a brand like Swatch joins with a car company. I didn't even name the car company. I just said some car company, and the car itself looked like a cappuccino machine with wheels. It was very funky, very cool, and very at the time had the watch color brand coordination. I didn't know that, but that car got my first job.
Mm.
I had the Corvette. I had a futuristic sedan for Mitsubishi Diamante. I had a coupe, 2+2 coupe with a Chrysler. So, but this little cappuccino machine got me my first job, which thank God. I mean, I believed in it, and it was about believing in my intuition that this would happen or something. This would connect. This product will connect with somebody. And Mercedes Benz, when I entered the classroom where we would have our work, the Mercedes Benz, the chief designer, the designers were all surrounded around the cappuccino machine, right? And they're looking at me, this is really good, John. Would you like to work for Mercedes Benz? And of course, I'm a student. I said, yes, of course. Right? I
That
mean,
was it. Yeah.
Mercedes was not on my list of car companies I wanted to work for. Nissan was the car company I wanted to work. The first car company I worked was Nissan. But anyway, I wasn't stupid. I said, yes, I want to work for you guys, right? So they said, well, you have to wait for a year. And we're building a studio in Yokohama, Japan. And you would have to wait for a year for the interview with the chief designer. I said, okay. So I was freelancing as a product designer. And then that time came when the chief designer came from Japan. Olivier Boulet is his name. And he was my first boss. And he liked what I showed him, my portfolio. And having connections is very important. It's another word that came across me is connection. I love architecture, and when I was doing my designs in school, I always use architectural philosophy in creating the shapes and the form, having some philosophy behind it. And Olivier was an architect as well as a car designer, so we connected in that kind of way, in that we both like architecture. And he showed me the studio that he was building in Japan. I said, oh my God, this is so cool. You know, he had all these ideas. Anyway, got the job, took my 2 luggage with me. Again, a young kid. I was probably 25 at the time. And I thought, okay, this would be like a 2-year, 3-year gig, and I'll come back to California. No, I stayed in Japan for 20 years. And I worked for Mercedes for 7 years, from 1993 to 2000. And along that way, man, it was the most amazing experience. Even the hard times was amazing. You know, there's a story I will tell. It's my first interior project. It was for an SUV project for Mercedes. And I failed miserably. Miserably. I mean, when I was presenting the interior, I knew it wasn't good. But I had to present anyway, right? So we had Bruno Sacco, man, the god of Mercedes design. Bruno Sacco, his right-hand man, Peter Pfeiffer, and they looked at it, and then they said, do you have a ruler? And they started to pull out ruler. And they were measuring each point from the ground, the steering wheel angle. Man, that's the first, I would say my first learning experience of working in a German, really, highly well-respected company. And I felt, my God, I felt miserably. Do I die here? Do I give up here? Right? But then I knew that, again, going back to my experience with Art Center, don't give up. Take this as a learning experience with humility. Because, when you graduate from school, everybody calls himself a car designer. And tell you what, you are not a car designer until you actually design a car from beginning to end. Even if you're part of a team, if you actually design a part or design the whole car from production into production, and you see the car driving on the street, you are then a car designer. Before that, you're a student of car design. Even though I have a degree, it was not until 10 years later, until I had a car on the road, that I realized now I'm a car designer. Because I know what it takes to design a car. I know what it takes to talk to engineers about feasibility, to talk with product planners in regards to the concept, how to identify with the customer. These things you don't learn so much in school. You learn when you are working. And so my experience at Mercedes was really amazing. Even my boss, Olivier, was the toughest boss you would ever work for. But I learned from that. I learned about, there are times you're going to have to really, bite the bullet and learn as much as you can as a student of car design. Speeding things up, in 2000, headhunter calls, and that time headhunters were really special. Now headhunters are more like recruiters. And so I get a call, would you like to join a Japanese car company? And here I'm at Mercedes, and I said, not really, no interest at all. And the headhunter says, but John, this might be a great opportunity for you to share your experience that you had with Mercedes for the last 7 years, and to bring it to a brand that it really is really reorganizing their whole studio and designing new cars. And then I said, okay, let me have an interview with the person you're talking with. And he said, you're going to interview with the man at the top. You're not going to interview with any HR. You're going to interview with Shiro Nakamura, who was given the responsibility to revitalize Nissan. So I interviewed with Shiro. Great person. Easy to talk to. I was like a little bit nervous. And of course, I spoke Japanese at the time, so it was very easy to jump in and out of English and Japanese. And then he said to me, he said, John, you can stay at Mercedes and probably have a really good career, but you can join us. And maybe out of the 40 cars that we're going to launch in the next 10 years, one of them could be yours. Man, that made me thought, shall I do? And it was only a 3-year contract. It wasn't set in stone. It was only a 3-year contract. So after 2 years, I might not have a job. And I had a child that was just born, and I was thinking, okay, let's go for it. So I left Mercedes, joined Nissan, their advanced studio called Exploratory Design, worked on many projects, advanced projects, worked on show cars, the GTR concept car. I was one of 2 designers working on the interior of that. That was amazing experience. I designed the exterior Serenity show car. It was like this multi-purpose vehicle, very futuristic, using a lot of Japanese DNA, apply it to the design, learning experience from there. And then my first production car was the 3rd generation Cube. Now, that design is like you either love it or you hate it. You never see people in the middle, I hate it. It's ugly. And then another person, man, this is cool, really cool. And the thing is that in 2010, it won Car Design of the Year by Motor Trends. I was like shocked. But then the title they wrote on the magazine was funky, fun, and futuristic. And that was exactly what we wanted to express in the design.
It was asymmetric, wasn't it? It had the back window was
asymmetrical, right? Asymmetrical.
Yeah, that's what I remember about
it. And it was hard because the 2nd generation was a big hit. It became really. It had a following in other countries. They couldn't get it right. They had to import the car into other countries. But it was
that was before the Toyota Scion and the
the 2nd generation.
The Honda. What was the dorm room on wheels? They called it. What was the name of it? There was a Honda version as well.
Yeah. It was like boxy cars at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, it was pretty popular. And I would say around 2010, the Scion and as well as the Honda. And the one that I designed was global. So it was marketed to the US, marketed to Europe. It was so cool of a project. That car took me all around the world. It was because I became the brand ambassador of that car, particular design, to represent Nissan. I went to Berlin. Never been to Berlin. Went to Berlin. There I was able to present the car. It was like the coldest winter in 70 years. Freezing my butt off, but I was so excited to be there. And the way they had presented the car was amazing because it was not, again, your typical car design. It was a car that reflected customers' lifestyle, customers' mindset. It was a car not about going fast. It's about going slow, taking it easy, enjoying life with your friend. And then after my presentation, the Nissan director of communication, I think it was marketing or communication, loved the presentation because I talked about Japanese Zen, the philosophy of Zen, and they loved it. And they said, hey, would you like to go to Barcelona to present the car at the launch? And I knew that, okay, they just sent me here to Berlin. I don't think my company is going to send me to Barcelona, 2 weeks later, So I said to him, if you can talk to my boss things will happen, right? So I go back to Japan, and then my boss, he's director, he comes and says, "Hey John, what is this thing about Jennifer Lopez and Bulldog wearing sunglasses?" Because it was communicated that the Q, the third generation Q, was Jennifer Lopez plus sunglasses. Because one of the stories about designing the rear part of the car, since the wheelbase was 100 millimeters longer, the shape of the rear fender had to be really designed really well. And I was working with the modelers on that area, and they keep making it very boxy. And I told them, I don't want it boxy. I want it, fun, agile, cute, sexy. And they said, John, give me a sketch. This is the typical modeler way of, poking at the design. Give me a sketch. So I went upstairs, Google of Jennifer Lopez. I got the right picture, the right, angle, got the curve, circle it, circle it with red marker, came down to the modelers. Hey guys, I got the sketch. I showed them the picture of Jennifer Lopez curve, and they all laughed, and they knew exactly what I wanted. So that story made itself into the communication in Europe, and then made it to my boss, and he was like, really, what is this story about J-Lo? And of course, I played dumb. I have no idea, no idea, because I don't want to get in trouble, Anyway, I was invited to Barcelona, and another great experience. And then my career took me from continent to continent. I was in Japan with Nissan 2000 to 2012. Then I was with Nissan Design America in San Diego from 2012 to 2018. And that Nissan Design America studio was the first studio I wanted to work for. It took me like almost 19 years to get to the studio that I wanted to work for. And when I joined there, everything I knew about the studio was true and more. Everybody was passionate about what they were doing, which is designing cars. And there was no division between play and work. It was the kind of studio that had reflected a new way of designing, a new way of thinking. It's like, you can go to work, and maybe at lunchtime go for a run, or go surfing, or play volleyball, because there was a volleyball court, there was a tennis court, there was yoga classes, there was gym. It really was very different, and I knew that I was in the right place to really nurture my creativity. And as well, at the time, I was the project lead designer when I started. So it was my way of really showing my abilities of managing a project. And it wasn't easy. It was just as difficult as getting into Art Center. I had to learn a lot, while I was starting there at the San Diego studio. I was managing two projects, a show car project called Resonance, and a production interior project for the Titan truck, for the 2016 Titan truck. I had two projects going at the same time with the same intensity. And I remember that my director at the time, Seiji Watanabe, he was the design director, and he asked me to come to his office. He said, "Hey John, can you help us develop the production interior of the Titan truck?" And all designers have already gone through it, and they were looking for somebody who can do the project. And I told Seiji, I said, "Seiji-san, I don't have the experience of a production interior. I know exterior production, I know show car interior, I've done that. But production interior, I have no experience." He goes, "It's the same, John. It's the same as exterior. You can do it. I challenge you." I said, "Okay." And I'm the guy, I love challenges. I don't back down on challenges. When someone gives me a challenge, I go for it. So I went for it. And it's not the same. It's a different mindset. I mean, you have to go from, micro to macro. You have to understand fit and finishes. You have to understand, CMF, color materials. You have to understand lots of things, ergonomics, UX, UI. And that project taught me a lot. That as a designer, if you're a good designer, you're able to do anything. If you stay focused, you learn as you go. And those two projects, the Titan truck and the show car, which was the Resonance show car, really was two projects that really helped me a lot in my career as a designer and as a project lead designer. And the Resonance show car was the struggle. We had many problems with the supplier, and I had a small team. I had exterior designer, CMF, and I had a PQ designer. And there was constant battle with the supplier to get the things we want. And I remember being at the situation, and the team was saying, "Wow, man, it's not going to work out, John." And then I remember we were in the parking lot. I said, "Guys, okay, picture this. Close your eyes and just picture this. You're at the Detroit Motor Show. The car is under the blanket or the veil. And as soon as they open the blanket, what do you see? What do you see? What you see is what everybody in the world is going to see. Your peers are going to see that. The chief designers of other studios are going to see that. Other car companies are going to see that. That's what they're going to see. They're going to see us. Man, after that, everybody focused. Again, the word focus come in, and worked hard, and we delivered the car. Not only we delivered the car, we won Eyes on Design Award, one of the prestigious design awards to win. So those experiences at San Diego Studio taught me a lot. And then I was given 2018 the responsibility to lead the studio in Sao Paulo. And that was another amazing experience from 2018 until now 2025. Managing the whole team, designing the studio, like really designing the studio, designing the interior. So breaking away, not only designing cars, designing products, designing interior, designing furniture. We were doing a lot of things in that little studio in the 7 years. We were working on show car projects, competing with competitions. We were creating our own projects as well. And during this time, in the last couple of years, from 2000, I would say 2022, 23, AI came along. Man, I knew that if we didn't implement AI into our process, we are going to be so behind. We're going to be in prehistoric age. So I myself, on my own, started to learn AI. I started to learn all the different platforms and using AI. And then we actually had a contract with you guys with DesignLab. So we actually used your software, your AI platform to help us to create our project. And it helped. It was amazing. It's like having 10 interns with you to deliver 10 different ideas within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And so I knew that the power of AI is going to be a tool of liberation for everyone who can see it as a tool, not as something that's going to take over your job, because that I don't think is going to happen, because you still need that human part of design in the process. So what I felt in the end with AI was the ability to curate your design. You're not only a designer now, you're the curator of your ideas. So you create an idea, and I still sketch by hand, and I use AI to create plethora of variations within minutes. This is unheard of. And not only ideas, animation.
Yeah.
And the animation, I still trying to figure out how it works. Because with the animation, you have maybe only one view, but the AI guesses with almost accuracy what the other views look like. And so when you guys launched your ImageLab, man, I was like on it 24/7. I was like up until midnight learning of how to use ImageLab, and the power of the output of what you guys have created is amazing. It is like the CGs, the computer graphic, it's the level of agencies, where it takes them days to create these images. Now you're creating them in minutes. Animation within minutes, right? So with what you guys created, and now I keep using it, is the ability to visualize. And this is another thing I think designers, we need to remember. We are visualizers of our visions. And if AI can take your design, make it drag down the street, that's like the next level of communication to your client, to your bosses. And this is where and I'm not the best of it. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, they're doing amazing animation with AI, CGs with AI. I mean, they're even putting themselves in the animation. I still haven't figured it out, but I will. To put themselves promoting their design. And I thought, mio Deus, my God, it's liberated artists. It liberates artists who haven't been really designing for a while, but now they can do it. It liberates designers who really had the formal training of design, but are be able to create their ideas from their brain and into a platform where they can visualize their ideas. I mean, normally as a car designer, I'm sure Christian, you have to be able to draw. You have to be able to draw your ideas on paper. I would suggest to all designers who are here listening, you still need to draw paper and pencil, the minimum. Because if you can master that with pen, pencil, paper, and marker, AI is just another tool to master, right? It's another tool. And even AI itself is like, could be a different marker for a different person. They had ad markers, then they had some alcohol-based markers. They had all these markers, right? And it's how you use the AI, you can get a really different result. And I really believe so. I mean, I've seen a lot of work with designers and students using AI, and you start to see similarities, right? But I think there are ones that come out and they do something really different, and that really catches me. How they can use the AI platform and to do something completely different. That for me is like liberating. I'm still trying to get to that stage where I know what I put out is going to be my signature. It's going to be John Sahs AI output, or my company, Imagine a Cooler Future. So there's going to be definitely a distinct style, and I think that still is viable, so that you don't all look the same. That you still have your identity as a designer or as a company.
Yeah.
You still have your DNA. And so when I created my company, Imagine a Cooler Future, it was the result of something that can be considered negative, but at the same time, it was considered positive. That the company, Nissan I was working for, was going through some difficult times, and they had to, lay off a lot of people. Of course, you being in the position, you never thought it would happen to you. Times are tough, and not only did they close our studio down in Sao Paulo, but they closed even the legacy studio, the San Diego studio.
Yeah.
And that was a big shock. And that brought kind of, sadness to me, because that studio was a legacy. It was like the first of two studios in California from a Japanese car company. Right? So when that studio closed down, I knew, okay, we are in difficult times. But that gave me an opportunity to think back, to take some time to consider my 32 years experience. Now I can start my own consultancy. I have what it takes to understand all the process of design, all the tools, even AI, to do projects that I believe would be beneficial. So I've created Imagine a Cooler Future as a design consultancy, and as well to deliver a mentorship program, which is something I've always loved doing. When I was in Nissan, I was in charge. When I was in San Diego, I was in charge of the internship program, where I had the chance to go to visit other schools, look at young talents, and to invite them to the studio to intern with us. So to get that opportunity to do something so beneficial for the future of young designers is something I carry with me even now. So when I came to Brazil, did the same thing, connected with universities of designs, and created projects, sponsored projects with them. And then now with Imagine a Cooler Future, I've created a program called Kojo. In Japanese, it means to elevate, to improve. And so Kojo is now my mentorship program that I'm almost done. It will be launched in mid-December. And it's like a 7-module course in regards to what, as a designer, not just only a car designer, maybe UX, UI, product design, even architecture. The 7 courses deal with the 7 areas in which I think is important for one's career. Portfolio, what is your creative DNA, what is your brand identity. All these things we don't think about, right? As car designers. We just design cars. But you also have to think, what is your career in the future? And when you invest into your career, you're putting a lot of, I would say, priceless moments in your timeline as a designer. And I've done a lot of investment. I pay for, learning AI. I would take the courses of learn how to prompt. Prompting is another thing, right? It's another art form. And I've taken like I think 3 courses of prompting and tried to understand how to get the results. So I to myself is still learning about the process, and I really enjoy that a lot. Enjoying the process of learning. AI has given me another purpose of learning. When I was using ImageLab, man, I was learning left and right. I was like, making mistakes in the prompts or something. Or what I would do is I would like combine prompts, like I would write the prompt or I would use your guys' prompt and then change the prompt to see what the results are. And I think that's liberating, to be able to do that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so cool,
Perhaps.
John, to see your passion. Starting from school, doing the jobs, using new techniques. I think that's really impressive. And do you can show some examples you did? Do you find the
You
share
know,
button or not?
I would love to. I made a whole presentation, and
Yeah,
I still cannot get the share button. And
we can't share it. Or okay, so maybe
yeah, I have
we
made a whole presentation. Maybe next time I can show you, but I have a whole presentation. I just kind of said what I had in my presentation in the last 45 minutes or so.
But you can't share still on the screen.
Yeah, there's no, yeah, because when you invited me, Phil, you also invited me to record, I think. And I think that kind of like made some kind of glitch in the system. Maybe what I can do is I can. Are you still there?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we're still here. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can see if I can send you
Huh.
the presentation,
Okay, yeah.
and let me then share the
That'd be great.
presentation. And here we go. Let me share this.
Maybe we also can make a presentation afterwards and put it in LinkedIn to show the guys a little bit of your work.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I will share as a PDF, and let me see here. I spent the whole evening creating this presentation for you guys.
Yeah, yeah, I believe. Yeah, yeah, you did a lot. I
I mean,
believe.
we can go on beyond the hour. I mean, I can go through because it's really what I've just said to you guys, and it was the presentation is not just my body of work; it's also just my career, the last 32 years career. And then okay, so I'm going to see where can I see? Okay. Oh, let me send it to you, Phil.
Okay.
Can you let me see? Let me get your email here. Hold on a second. I got it here. So send it to you.
Maybe until you can show stuff from John, Philip, I will share some stuff here I did this week. So we showed already this in the beginning. I did this cool stuff with this BYD car. Let me see if I find this one.
And Chris, you're the master. I've seen your work. You're definitely my Yoda.
Yeah, but I work all the time with it, so don't take it too serious. So I'm exploring still stuff here because it's so powerful. You can do so much stuff, and you see a
Yeah.
little bit what I did here. This I think I started with this image here. I just make it full screen now. So you can do just one click. You get this the people in front of the car and look about this from this image to this image. The quality of the clear code
My
image.
God. This is definitely agency disruption disruptor. Every agency is gonna like, oh my God, they can
Yeah,
do this in minutes
yeah. Put it
at,
on
at
a nice road here. See
one
all the
tenth of the cost.
yeah. Yeah, it's really, really, and it's fun, you get this cool.
Beautiful.
And then I
Oh,
had this
this.
one, I said, oh, make it more racy, add some features. So I changed the car a little bit. So this is my fault. But I just played with it, and doing some stuff. Put it outside somewhere, bring it back to the racing area, So you can just go through it. I use this enhanced prompts also. When we load an image, the AI checks the image now and gives you back enhanced prompts, which are really good. They're doing subtle changes, sometimes quite nice. So you can just go through, change the color of the car, yeah, and find your stuff you want to have at the end. So it's like I just go through the images now. You do a lot, and you come in a flow, and every image takes maybe 15 seconds to do. So you do stuff and you change and whatever. and then at the end you're coming closer what you want to show. Yeah, so I did something in between here, so you can do some fashion, but then you can also do some movement of the car. This is for me something I still cannot believe. You have one image and you make this nice movie.
My gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
it's crazy.
amazing. And then I took it a little bit further and make it more clean, you know. So I changed my prompt a little bit, and it's like the sun comes here, sun goes underneath of the car.
Yeah.
And if you look at the dynamics of the car, you know, the suspension dynamics is really good. That's why I love using your guys' platform, because the suspension dynamics is
Yeah.
really hard to get on other platforms. But your ImageLab platform, it just makes it so realistic.
Hmm.
I had some videos of the car running in the desert, and just the way the suspension was working.
Did you send it over, John?
Yeah, did you get it?
Is it via email?
Yeah, via email.
No, I have not received it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not a problem, John. I mean, if you can't show it right now, let's make a nice post together. We put some of your stuff inside, and for me, it's very important that you are really happy about the tool and you like to work with it, and it makes it really fun, you know. So that's the most important.
Yeah, I love using guys ImageLab, and I'm always astonished by especially the animation. And what's cool about it is that sometimes you have some design things that are created by AI. Oh, that's pretty interesting, you know. So it makes you think even further how you can improve the design as well, you know. So
Yeah, it's not just editing images. It's more like you can also say, okay, make the car more racy, make it more stand, you know. So you and then it's doing something, and you get maybe a nice idea, you know. So that's the kind of work we're going to push in the future much more, make it even easier to use it. And I talk a lot of it. I just really talk like I talk to a human. Say, oh, I put it here and do this, and push the button and see what comes out. I'm not so much into prompt engineering. I just more talk to it. So, Philip, you did not get something. I mean, if you don't
I
have,
did not. I, I have not received an email from you, John.
we have 8 minutes left. So, but maybe John, you can show yourself again. Can you click on your camera symbol? Let me see you, because right now it's a black area.
oh, I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Oh yeah, how much better. Yeah, now we see you again. But I think it's so great that you are here in the call and you have so much experience, and then you are talking about the new era and AI, how to integrate it in teams and so. And I think even for young people, it's very helpful, the tool.
I have it now.
Ah,
Oh, good.
good.
I think the animation won't work since it's PDF, but at least you'll see the images. So
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
we,
Okay, here we go.
yeah, really put in a little bit of a. I mean, I love storytelling. I think that's another part of being a designer and learning the importance of storytelling.
Yeah, right.
We know when you're presenting your design to executives or to clients, you need to really know about how to tell a really good story about your design and how it connects with the customers. And that's something that I learned throughout, you know, my years of working at Nissan, in the importance of storytelling.
Storytelling is very important. So to have a nice,
Yeah, I mean, it's
have
something.
a nice story around, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, something we don't think about so much, right? All right, so here we go. We can, yeah. We can
Well,
just,
let's get to the. Here's your swatch car you were talking about.
yes, that's a swatch car. Chance of a
Yep.
lifetime. My years in
Yep.
Mercedes.
Mercedes. All right. You had
Beginning of my 25-year love affair with Nissan.
very good. Yeah.
As you see, I was still, you know, doing analog sketches, pen, paper, marker, combining with.
Have you taken any of these old sketches and brought them into ImageLab just to sort of bring them to new life? Have you tried that?
I've tried some of them. Not the Nissan stuff, but my school, the Swatch watch, and the results are really
right.
cool. Yeah, the tight interior. The last project I did at NDA. This is me
Very cool.
in Latin America doing some stuff. Did a co-branding with a young Brazilian Japanese brand designing bags. So I love designing everything, not just cars, but everything.
Yeah. Have,
And
have you
then
have you done any of the combination of images where you attach maybe two or three images and say combine these
yes, yes,
into the image? Yeah, that's
yes,
really amazing what you can do
yeah.
with that.
And in AI, like here's just a story of how I'm using beginning of learning how to use AI,
Ah, yeah,
in creating the images. And then I think the next bit. Oh, weird. Okay, uh, that was weird. Anyway, yeah, and this was a video, but this
Mm,
is an image stuff. So
cool.
this is the video that was using also ImageLab in creating the animation. And like I would put all these little videos together to create some kind of like music video.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
the videos, I hear the images that I've used on ImageLab,
Yes.
and like I
yeah,
say, the output is really, really good. I mean, this is
yeah, yeah.
agency level. You know, I don't have to spend time photoshopping anything. The AI does everything within minutes. So this is the power of AI. And also like having one view and the AI can do all the other views for you to design off
Mm,
of, which I thought
mm,
was incredible.
yeah.
And the different perspective and things like that. Um, yeah, so really, really cool. And my new journey, as I was explained with my new company that I started, um, and it's all based again my years of working as a designer and as I would say as an educator as well. I love art, cars, and design. This is the website.
Mm,
Very
nice.
simple, bold and simple. Again, design services on the left, consultancy, product, cars,
Hmm.
environmental. The Kojo
Mentorship program.
program,
Hmm.
which is going to have 7 modules to learn from. And that's basically it. That's basically
And there
it.
you are.
There I
Cool.
am. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Fantastic, really cool.
And there's your link.
yeah.
For me, it was really nice to hear your passion, about design, about your life and the projects and technique now, AI. And so I think this is really powerful if somebody like you has this passion. That's what I really
Yeah.
like
I
to.
you know, I'm 57 at the moment, and I have the same passion that I had when I was 25.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love, I mean, I don't even feel I'm working. You know, I always
Yeah.
feel like I'm going to play in a playground with a bunch of kids, creating something in the sandbox. Even now, I have my own company, and you have a lot of things to do. I love it. And you're right, Chris. If you don't have the passion, maybe this is not for you.
Yeah.
And passion really pays a lot, really helps a lot. I mean, doing these AI images also, I mean, you forget about time. And
Yeah.
like I've seen your work, Chris, you do plethoras of images. And and it's that's what it takes. You're always trying to find the right, image. You're trying to find the right color, the right perspective, the right feeling. And I think that's where the human aspect comes along.
Yeah.
You curating what you want to show, right? I think that makes a big difference because AI will do all the hard work for you, but it's
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
but it's you, right? It's us who can
Yeah,
curate and tell the
we
story.
had Jeff Hafer on last week, and he mentioned that, hey, I'm 68 years old, and I'm still at it, and I still love it, and I'm still passionate. And he was a designer and modeler at Apple for many years, and still very much passionate about learning the process of learning the new technology. And I think that's some common thread between you and Jeff Hafer is that you both have a passion for learning and keeping on the edge of technology in general, and pushing the boundaries of these new tools as they come out, and seeing them as a creative helper rather than a hindrance, right? Rather than something that takes something away from you, it enhances and expands your ability to create even more cool new concepts and ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, again, AI is a liberating tool for creatives, and if you're a
Yeah.
creative person who has passion, I would say continue learning. I'm still learning, and I think learning is very important in our field, right? I mean, when you can add more palettes to your tool, it's going to be amazing.
there's one change because now it's learning by fun, because it's not so complicated anymore. You don't have to use a specialist for light or for shadows or for shaders or so. You just click the button and you get something and you change it. it's not so hard work anymore. It's more coming to be fun. And this is a big change I feel for myself because I have so much fun here every day doing this stuff. And that's maybe also good for the future for the young people starting now. Oh, nice.
I think in that picture.
You wanted to get in a picture, John. You said, I don't know how to get myself in the picture. You simply attach the image. You say, replace the man in the picture with the attached, and there you are.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought to myself, 6'2" is not bad being tall, you know. I'm only 5'3", but
that's a nice.
It's not so hard.
like,
Now it's 5 o'clock. I would say we're going to stop here. And thank you very much, John, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, John, for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. We're super excited to see what you do in the future. And, everyone go check out Imagine a Cooler Future of .com of John's website. And look forward to Image Chat number 7 next week.
well, thank you,
Thanks very much, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody, for the time. Really appreciate it and enjoyed it a lot. And feel free to contact me anytime.
Super.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're
John.
over and out.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
Guys.
Ciao, ciao.
I'm going to end us with our Depix tune here. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, all right. Thanks very much, guys.
Ciao, ciao.